Hey, welcome to another Fingernail Fixer video. I've had lots of requests for rebalancing, and I'm doing a rebalance that has color over it. So I'm just doing the finish file strokes to remove the color. This helps get the rebalance started. Right now I'm filing in reverse, which is essentially 1/3 of the nail counterclockwise. Then I'm going to file forward. Shockingly, forward is the opposite of reverse. So I'm doing about 1/3 of the nail clockwise, making sure to file in a curved motion because you want the nail to stay curved shape. Once I've done the 2/3, I'm going to do the extension edge, making sure to taper off any thickness that occurred while removing and reducing length. Then I'm going to do the cuticle seal stroke, ensuring that everything is sealed down so that when I apply new product it will have a good seal. Finally, I'm going to come through and do the center. By using the finish file order, what happens is that my nail ends up in the shape I want it to be when I apply new product, so that my finish filing after I apply the product is much smoother and easier and doesn't take as long. Once I've gone through the filing, I'm going to do any length reduction and looking for issues. So I'm going to come in and reduce the length. I'm using a 180 grit file to debulk and reduce length. If I need to debulk further, I use also a 100 grit, so I switch back and forth between the 100 and the 180. It is safe to use a 100 grit on old product because it's completely cured. Once I have the length adjusted, I will go ahead and come back in and re-taper the edge because, as you can see, the edge is now a little bit thick. So I'm going to come back in and re-taper that so that when I apply the new product, it will not be thick on the edge. And I'm just bringing the file towards me in order to taper the edge down. I'm also using a slightly rounded stroke to keep the arch to the nail. And as you can see, that end thinned out really nicely. Now I'm going to look for any issues. So I'm going to clean the dust off and go in and check for any lifting or cracking. I'll take you in there. You can see there's just a little bit of lift along this side. When the nail is lifted, you do not want to file directly on the lift, or all you'll do is chase the line. So what I'm actually going to do is pull the skin out of the way and take my file back in the reverse stroke again, filing towards the lifted area. And as you can see, the lift is coming up. See how it's coming right up? And I'm going to continue to file towards it until it flakes off. Just using those same rounded strokes so as not to file a flat spot into the nail. Once the lift flakes off, I'm just going to re-smooth that edge. As you can see, the lift just flaked off. And now I just have an edge to smooth. So at this point, the nail shape is rebalanced, the length is reduced, and the thickness is reduced. You can see the arch has been moved back where it should be, and now we're ready to do prep and apply product. Once you've done the file prep, you want to come in and do the nail prep. So I've applied cuticle away, and I only need to come in with the curette around the edges, making sure to gently massage the eponychium, not push it back. Also making sure that the curette is flat to the nail plate. If you're using cuticle away, it's extremely important that you rinse it with at least water. The water deactivates the chemical reaction that's breaking down the cuticle. You want to make sure that you scrub. There is a little bit of soap in my water to really get the nail nice and clean. Once I'm done with the cuticle, I want to come in and gently remove the shine from the natural nail around the edges with a 240 grit, making sure to go in the growth direction of the natural nail so as not to do any damage with the file. I'm just gently going to remove the shine from the natural nail area. And then we're ready to apply product. Once you've removed the shine with your 240 grit, you want to come in and scrub with the Scrub Fresh. I'm going to make sure I'm really getting down into the sides, across the back, and across the end. And then we're going to come in and apply product. Part of a rebalance is that you actually apply in all three zones. So if we were doing a Forever French, we would apply the white, zone 2, and zone 3. Since we're just doing a natural nail overlay, I'm going to apply in zone 1, 2, and 3 using pure pink. If you need help with your mix ratio, there is a mix ratio video available on my YouTube channel. I'm going to place a small bead in zone 1, making sure to work with my brush at a back angle in order to create the taper at the edge. Notice that I'm really pressing and guiding the product, not tapping. Once I have it in place, I am going to come back and kind of lay down this back edge so that it tapers into zone 2 and the two zones will blend. Then I'm just going to smooth out any excess and come back in and add a bead for zone 2. Making sure to use very small beads because this is a small natural nail overlay. I'm going to place the zone 2 bead in the center, making sure that I'm tapering back towards zone 3, turning the brush to the sides so that I taper into the sides, and again making sure to press and guide, not tap, and then brush it smooth. Finally, I'm going to pick up a small bead for zone 3, making sure that it's very small. Also making sure to keep the mix ratio the same. Just because I want the bead to thin out in zone 3 doesn't mean I want it to be liquidy. I'm going to place the bead for zone 3 in zone 2, and then I'm going to press and guide it into place, making sure that I'm tapering down towards the nail so that I create a connection to the nail plate that makes it difficult to tell where the nail plate ends and the enhancement begins. That way I have a really smooth transition so we don't have an odd lump as the enhancement grows out. And if you look at that from the side, the arch has been put back in place. And we've sculpted with the brush so we don't have to do as much work with the file. This takes 2 to 3 minutes to set up, and then we're ready to finish file. Once the product is set, you can come in and do your finish filing. We're going to finish file with a 180 grit. I'm going to start off by refining the shape. Then I'm going to come in and file in reverse, which again is counterclockwise on about 1/3 of the nail. Then I'm going to file forward, which again is still the opposite of reverse. Then I'm going to do the extension edge, the cuticle seal stroke, which is just going around all the edges of the nail, making sure everything is sealed down. And then I'm going to look at it from the side and file the arch last, blending it into the other areas. If you want to hand buff this to a shine, you can just go ahead and come in and graduate grits using the same strokes, or you're ready for color application. Hope this helps.